Buying or selling a home is one of the most important decisions you'll make in your entire life. Call the Holly Ritchie team today for a free market analysis.
Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Spanning the Needs, Stories of Your Lifestyle. Today, we're going to be talking about setups and basically everything that have to do with setting up for the holiday season for your parties as well as Christmas.
Yes.
And today I have a great person here. She's doing real well in the community. Her name's Jen Banna, designed by Sweet Arrangements. Yes, you heard it, Sweet Arrangements. She's carrying on the family tradition. Jen, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And we talk about designed by Sweet Arrangements, and a lot of people know it as Sweet Arrangements, but you're taking over the family business.
Right. So this was, an impulse idea that started 41 years ago. My mom and uncle decided to give this a shot, and of course, was very successful with it. They were very well received in the community. I started very young, just kind of taking an interest and watching my mom, and then just kind of slowly progressed into it, found that I enjoyed it, and then ironically ended up being decent at it. So, you fast forward, they got to the point where they were ready to retire and kind of enjoy life a little bit more. And I realized that I wasn't ready to stop doing it. It was a passion of mine. I really enjoyed it. So decided to make the transition over to bringing in the Design House by Sweet Arrangements, because I wanted people to recognize the name, because again, that was the name that everybody had really known in the Valley. But then I also wanted to introduce Design House to kind of give it a fresh start. Also kind of letting people know that unfortunately we're not really the everyday business that the shop used to be, but more so specializing in parties, events, corporate events, things of that nature. So.
Well, and we were talking earlier that you started by when your mom and your uncle, you were sitting at Playpen at the young age in the back room.
Yes, I was. Yep.
And I think that's kind of where we talked off camera about how you kind of got your start. It's like, you're wondering, what are they doing?
Right.
And you're in the back room where everything was.
Right.
And now 40 some years later, you're now moving the family business, really taking it to the next level. And your mom still works with you. So
she does.
She's not out of the business, but she works when she's retired, semi-retired.
Right, she does, and I'm happy to have her. It was really nice getting to, my mom and I are very close, so it was nice having all those years of getting to work side by side with her. I learned a lot from her. Right. She is an incredible talent. So, to be able to still have her, here, I still learn from her all these years later. So I'm grateful to still have her here with me.
And that's great, because you're carrying on something, but you can share it with your family every year. And a lot of people love that, because you bond with your family. You're very close with your family. Right. So today we're going to talk about how to decorate tables from start to the final picture. But basically, this is for anyone.
It is.
Anyone that is having a Christmas party this year, Christmas dinner, or any type of family gathering for the holidays. So what do we have here, and let's get started.
Right. So, a lot of people are kind of nervous or, don't think that they, can put it together, but it actually is pretty easy, especially when it comes to holidays and especially Christmas. There is an abundance of different tools and things that you can use to kind of create that table. So, one, like I was telling, you earlier that, if we're working with, say, the dining room, someone's existing table and it's a beautiful table, you certainly don't need to cover it with a linen. But if you want to, that's the first way of making that pop. So, here I started with this, it's like a shimmery ivory tablecloth, a little bit more of a neutral palette, a little softer. And then by there's a couple other, say holiday options. If you don't care to have something that is, kind of flashy or glammy, you want something a little bit more neutral or played down, something like a nice velvet. This is a really pretty rich hunter green velvet linen that would look beautiful as the covering for the table. So we're going to start with just the ivory here, and I'm just going to show some basic concepts. So Again, if you have the dining room set, you have the chairs, and you have all that already, then, you could work with that you have existing. Or, I've recommended to people, hey, there's a lot of local companies, like TNR, friends of ours in the business, they rent a lot of the different chairs. So for example, this is one of their newest ones. It's the rounded back. And then of course, this is the fruit wood. It's a little bit more natural. So depending on how you want to do that holiday table, this would probably be a little bit more of that glam version. That's going to be a little bit more of say like that natural look. So we'll start with the natural look. So, and what I did is I put in front of it just one sample of the charger. So the charger plates, again, another really easy, simple concept to kind of bring that table to life. It gives some dimension, it gives it a little texture, and just to start dressing it up. And then you can build off of that. So you could do the charger simply just plain, like you see there.
Where can you pick something up like these?
Any of your craft stores.
Okay.
Online, Amazon. A lot of people like to do the online shopping.
I think everyone loves Amazon.
Everyone loves Amazon. And again, have everything, literally brought right to you. But the majority of your craft stores, your Joann's, your Hobby Lobbies, and that, they're going to carry a pretty good variety of the charger plates, depending on, again, kind of that version of the table you want to go with.
You can go fancy, just general. It just depends what you want it to be.
Exactly. Everybody's a little bit different. But that's what's nice about this is you can play it up, you can play it down. You can really make that table, your own. So if we started with, say, like the more natural look, so what I did here is, again, depending on the color palette that you're going to go with for the holidays, I simply started with a red napkin, kind of rolled it, and then tucked it in here to the napkin ring holder. Again, can go right in the center of the charger plate. So you have a really nice presentation right off the bat for really pretty cost effective. Most of the charger plates, run anywhere from like $1.25 and up a piece. So you can really build that tablescape, for
that's just as simple as it gets.
Exactly.
Simple that looks elegant.
It does. And even if you, just went with the linen, the charger plates, napkin. You already have a table pretty much that already is going to look good. Then if you choose to now start adding in that concept, so say we're doing something with a little bit more natural look for that centerpiece. So I like to do, of course, the holiday greens on the table. So basically start with the simple pine, which you take very simply, start laying it down the center of your table. And you basically just kind of do like an interweaving pattern.
Okay. Basically just like you're building a wreath.
That's it. Yep. So you could see.
And even I can do this.
Even the guys can do it.
Yeah. Because we're going to get told what to do anyway.
Exactly.
So add your touch, guys.
See, you could help, you could be a part of it, you could feel like a little bit about this.
Yeah.
So then I'm just taking another kind of greens. Again, you can make it simple, you can build it up, you can make it as full as you like, depending on both the size of the table, how many people are going to be at that table. So you can choose to make it however you like.
Okay.
Also, now, and again, as far as the greens go, you can go to some of like the nurseries, your Petites, a lot of those places, they will sell most of this stuff either in bundles or they sell it like in a rope that you can take and you could basically just cut apart and then build it right there. Pretty simple.
Okay.
Then I just got a couple of the silk poinsettias.
Poinsettias are always a good.
They are very holiday. They're more of kind of that everybody loves. They're a very classic element. You could take them and simply just kind of weave them into your greens. And again, so this would be something that you could kind of carry down throughout the whole length of the table. Right down the middle of the table. Yep. So it kind of ties. So we're pulling in some of that red. We're pulling in some of the holiday decor that a lot of people are familiar with, like your poinsettias. Then, if we want to introduce, say, some candlelight. So what I did, get some cylinders. Cylinders, again, something very easy to locate. They have them at a lot of like the dollar stores and that. I got a couple bags of cranberries at your grocery store, fill them with the cranberry, some water, pop a floating candle on top. You light those going down the table. So now We're pulling in some candlelight, the greenery, the color. Very simple tablescape, and then once everything is up and it's glowing and it's lit, it really looks beautiful.
And we kind of look at this as you said, simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that any individual can kind of look at this and say, you know what, I like the framing.
Yes.
You can change it out to any different colors.
Absolutely.
That you see fit. If you don't see red, you like blue.
Yes.
Or you like white.
Yep.
And you can
Absolutely.
change it out to match. So, and you can also look at, when you look at these types of cylinders, big, small.
Absolutely, can divide the sizes, have some short, have some tall. A very easy way to pull in that candlelight. The other thing that's nice with the cylinders and the floating candles, sometimes people are worried about the candlelight and, we don't want a holiday fire. These are nice, they're contained.
especially with the pine.
With the pine, exactly.
Why they say don't put anything near the Christmas tree.
Don't put it by the Christmas tree. So this is nice because, again, you'll get that candlelight, you'll kind of get that ambiance. But yet candles safely inside.
What happens if we didn't have candles or this? What would you else would recommend with that except these?
So you mean for
just to exchange these out?
Okay, so a lot of people too, another option is the candlestick. Mm-hmm. So say we want to do something like this. What's nice about these, they're a little bit more tailored. They're a little bit more contemporary. Okay. So you take those. Again, things like these are all things that you can find pretty much at most places, in town. Yeah. So pop some of these on. Again, most places will sell these for those that are concerned about the candlelight. So these are battery powered. Okay. These are an Amazon, very, very simply.
The one place where you could get
everything,
anything,
right?
And
Right.
It's amazing.
Right. So I like this. Levels. So now we have a little bit more dramatic look. We have the height in there. We're not worried about that open flame. Looks really nice.
Okay, let's talk about setups of, everyone always asks about the etiquette of putting down forks, putting down a variety of different things.
Right.
Let's now talk about what that looks like, because I think everyone, when you get them, you get all the different forks, the knives. What's it all look like?
Right. So, a lot of people get really concerned about that. Mm-hmm. However, especially when it comes to like the holiday parties, because again, what you're serving and your menu can be dramatically different from one person to the next. It may not necessarily be a formal menu, but again, with doing, say, the charger and the napkin in it, you can kind of get away from, kind of avoiding the confusion of that, and simply do it on the sides. Mm-hmm. The other thing that you can do with the charger, so I'm going to bring this one over just to show another example. Here, so I'll just slide this one down here.
We got 3 people at the table waiting for dinner.
See that? So start with our charger. What I like to do with this one, so you could take your napkin, and again, the colored napkins, depending on what your color palette is, it's a really nice look for not a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So I say, depending on what you go with, you could do the green, you could do a gold, a silver, you could do something simple, just like your classic ivory. But again, it looks really good and it's really inexpensive. Then, you could also place your silverware on top of the napkin, this way. Another cute idea for all you Cricut gals out there is, you can do like a name card for each one of your guests, and kind of have it right up at the top of their place setting, mm-hmm. or, one of the tent folds like in the center of their napkin. Just a nice way to kind of make it a little bit more formal if you chose, to go that way.
Name cards is too much for me. too much, even at weddings, just too much. Seating charts in the front, just go to your table.
Right. Yeah, you could definitely keep it more simple. So with that though, I want to jump to kind of now how we can take this up a notch if you are choosing to kind of have that glam mm-hmm. look for the holidays. So I'm going to
impress everyone.
Exactly. Like me, I like a little bit of dazzle and a little bit of sparkle for the holidays.
And depending who you're having at Christmas or holiday dinner, or
this is true too.
This is it your new family members coming in?
This is true.
So this is where the new
your audience and stuff you want to keep in mind if you're going to do a little more traditional or take it up a notch.
You want to impress someone.
This is true.
Yeah.
But again, the napkin holder. This one is going to be a little bit fancier. It's going to give you a little bit of that sparkle. Mm-hmm. Take the napkin, put it through, Now this is gonna go on the center of the table, or in the center of your charger.
Simple but elegant.
Elegant.
Looks fancy.
It does.
But it's not.
But it's not. Very cost effective. Then, if you want to bump it up again, take something like your wine glass, and now we can pair these settings with a fancier wine glass. Great places for stuff like this, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, all of those places have these. If your table count is up to 18, 20 people, you could still do this relatively cost effective, but really make a wow factor on the table.
Well, especially if you look at this kind of matches.
It does.
So you could do it in a couple different stages of, okay, this table will have this.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you may go to TJ Maxx and there's not enough if you have 18 to 20 people.
Exactly.
And I've known Christmas dinners that have gotten 40 people, especially big Italian families or big Hanukkah and a variety of that. You can totally adjust this. So we could say,
we're going to do this option for the women. We're going to maybe just do our regular glass, for the guys at the table. And, you could balance it out that way if you don't
need the name tags. Women have this and the men have this.
The women are going to have the fancier goblet. So again, so you could see how now, we really stepped it up a notch just by charger, napkin, and our wine glasses.
I mean, it's just simple. Just by looking at it, it's just very elegant, very simple. And
it is.
We keep going back to that, but it helps kind of people with ideas now thinking towards Christmas.
Right.
We're less than, it's going to be January before we even know it.
Right.
So we're a couple weeks away from Christmas, and you better start shopping now for these things because unfortunately there may not be much left for Christmas.
There may not be. I will tell you, yes, inventory product, there's still those shortages going on kind of nationwide. So some is a little bit limited, but again, I wanted to go with things that most people could easily find, at your local store. So, in all these things, that is the case. This isn't anything that you really have to go scouring for. You could find most of this right here in our backyard.
And we kind of look at this as, have you done something like this for your home cooking for the holidays?
I have. I find that I tend to do it more for other people. And I kind of, just give myself whatever's left.
Yeah, it's like your family, I don't need to impress you.
Exactly. But again, I enjoy doing it, and I think guests appreciate it. I think that it's just a statement, coming in and seeing that table, kind of done up and put together as opposed to, just our paper plates and that.
Well, yeah, and it all depends who, like you said, who's coming in. Is it just family that, hey, we don't really, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Or is it you have certain people that are coming in that, hey, we need to do this or we need to do that, because sometimes it's not just the holiday Christmas dinner.
Right.
You're having a holiday party.
Absolutely.
And we kind of look at that too as this could be as elegant as anything from that.
Right. We actually just got done doing one this past weekend in Cleveland at a upscale restaurant there. It was actually a 40th birthday party. The husband wanted to have something holiday and kind of elegant. So basically made a bunch of tablescapes. Very similar to what you see here. So absolutely, there are definitely, other things going on, other than just Christmas and Christmas dinners, but and all of this can be adjusted to fit whatever that occasion is. So you can make it geared more towards holiday if that's the case, or if it's something else, you can gear it, more that way as well.
Well, especially budget-wise.
Yes.
Some people want that extravagant. Some people just want it simple, but look elegant.
And that's what's nice about this. So, with the holiday greenery and all that, a little bit goes a long way. So you're really able to do a lot on these tables with, not needing as much. And then like you had mentioned, and you can interchange this however. So red, again, if that's not your color, you could take that out. And some people just like a nice mixture of greenery. Maybe even popping in a few pine cones or something like that. So you don't necessarily even have to get into flowers, whether it's fresh or silk. But you could just do a lot of like the greens, and it looks beautiful still that way.
You even have a couple of those stands for candles, and that could be different than these.
Absolutely. So, and I'm going to show you, so another look. So you're going to also have, those that have, say, those, big high ceilings. You might have 12, 14 feet ceilings in maybe a great room or the dining room where you're going to be having the dinner. So another option is you could go with something. So I just pulled one of my, just say taller vases.
Big boy.
Right here. And then this basically, again, mixture of holiday greens. And I'll slide it down to make sure that we can see here. So we would put something, say like this, in the center of, of the table, and then do now kind of a little bit like a matching runner of the greenery down either side. What's nice is, again, if you're fighting with a space that needs something with some height, so now we can build basically the same thing that we're doing down here, but pop it on something higher. Again, you can get these bases, and it could be any kind of base. It could be a clear, gold, silver, anything, and this will work.
Well, and you look at it is now you're really going overboard.
Right.
But I think you see the options of kind of the simple
exactly
to kind of the big time. And maybe not big time is the right word, but something that's going to be really eye-popping.
Yes.
And the nice thing about this is what I've always learned about it is you can still talk to people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's why I did this. So again, you have, we're not dealing with a lot of bulk right here. So it makes it very easy to talk through. So that's just it. In choosing, if you say, oh, wow, you know what? I really like this. I do have that big great room that we're going to be eating in, and I would like to do something taller. So you're going to want to just make sure that you get yourself a taller vase that you're going to pop, we're going to do this arrangement on. Then that way, again, it isn't in anybody's, view.
Right, because I think a lot of people look at is how big it gets.
Right.
Because when you're sitting down, and no matter if it's a thin table like this or a big round table,
right,
you don't want to, you'll kind of have to be leaning back and forth trying to talk to the person that's there. So this is a great example of real thin at the bottom, and then kind of your presentation at the top.
Yep, and then same concept with this tall one. You could pop poinsettias in here. We could take, again, if you like the pine cones, anything pretty much that's holiday, that's reflective of what, you're showcasing in your home, you can also incorporate on this table and in these centerpieces.
And I think that's a great point is you can do anything. No matter if you're a person that like myself is not really entwined in the design, to someone that has a lot of experience and has that design sense like you do.
Can keep it simple, can make it fancier, but again, this is one of those things where, because I tend to like both concepts. I like the simple all the way to the little bit more extravagant, so to speak. But what's nice though is even if you just did everything in all the assorted greens, it's beautiful. It's still very holiday, and it goes with anything.
I just want to show people this on how tall this really is. Could you let's put it down right here?
Sure.
And we just want to show you how tall this really is. So this is as tall as it gets when you, so hey, if you even have an extra table and you want to stick it on the ground, you could do that too.
Right,
so
or say you're having maybe like an appetizer table, somewhere else other than, the formal table. This can go in the center of an appetizer table, and those can go down below. So, depending on what kind of need that you have, and again, something that fits your space, you can incorporate talls and the lows.
Exactly, especially if you're, like you were talking about, like parties, like holiday parties where it's hand food, hors d'oeuvres.
Right.
You could put a couple of these with stacked shelves or however you want to design it.
Absolutely.
And these look good just next to it, very simple.
Yes.
But it looks like, oh wow, look at this. This is nice, but it's simple.
Absolutely.
And
and then the rest of our decor comes in, our other things, our charger plates. Like I said, again, now this is a center plate that goes inside the charger plate. Just another additional step, not a lot of money. But again, now it's just another way of dressing that up. Thank you. And then napkin goes in the center of that. So we have a really pretty place setting that really didn't take a lot.
And it didn't take long.
It doesn't.
It took 5 minutes to just kind of put a couple things together in regards to changing out designs and changing out. So we look at that as hopefully very simple for people to understand. And to kind of make it pop for your holiday spirit. And that's kind of the goal here, is to kind of show that etiquette of what you can do.
Right. And one thing that, we will be doing, so starting next season, we will be offering like a weekend with a couple different time slots where we will be building tablescapes, holiday centerpieces and different ideas, so that people can kind of come in, take a look at it, and then of course if they want to place their order for greens, the berries, any of that sort of thing, we can do that, or they can simply get it on their own. But to kind of see it come together, again, I think sometimes it does help people that maybe feel like they're not very creative, but to assure them basically that you really don't have to be to put something like this together.
My wife's creative, but I think I didn't get the bug. I got the Italian pasta bug.
Right. Right.
And that's
okay. You need that too for the holidays.
Well,
somebody needs to cook, somebody needs to decorate.
And clean.
And clean.
Well, that's a great point for next year is if you don't have that scent like I do.
Right.
Okay. I'm a visual person.
Yes.
So when I say, well, I don't know what to put together.
Yes.
This is a great visual for people to look at and like come in next year, next winter or fall and say, hey, have some fun, play around.
Yeah.
You guys will help them.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
And really just give people that buzz of, I like this. This is simple. I didn't realize that.
Exactly. Or some people too, they're like, believe it or not, some people don't even know where to get some of this stuff. It's like, okay, well, where would I find this or where would I find this? And, we kind of go over that. And, it's oftentimes easier than most people think.
And it's funny because you probably know this as much as I do, is that when do everyone start planning for their Christmas parties or their Christmas dinner or holiday? Probably about 2 weeks before or right after Thanksgiving.
Yes. Yes. The problem is with that is that sometimes then you're finding that you're limited to what you can get. So if you see these things, if you're out, you're having to do a TJ Maxx run in July and you see these wine glasses, snag them up because that's exactly what
Christmas in July.
Yes.
And that's a great point because
now you'll have it.
That's a great point because we look at it as, hey, if you're really going to have it, some people don't like, you know what, I will take care of it in December when it's 2 weeks. Then you're scrambling.
Then
unfortunately, there's nothing we can do.
You are, and especially this year. Like I know, I happened to run into a Home Depot the other day, picking up something, and they were stocking some of the Christmas greens. And she had mentioned that they're almost sold out and it wasn't even December 1st. So yes, great point. Don't wait till last minute because like with the Christmas greens, anything that you get, you can put outside, garage, they will do fine. So they will last until you're ready to put that table together or that holiday, decor. Like you don't have to wait and worry if it's going to last and get it, last minute. You're always better to get it sooner, have it, keep it there in the back somewhere cool. But it'll last you, and then
Well, I think the pandemic kind of hurt us in that.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about supplies and supply chain that everyone's been dealing with, and I think that's why everyone had Christmas specials in like October.
Right.
So, and a lot of them already had their Christmas decorations on sale as soon as September hit.
Right.
Halloween too. Usually it's after Labor Day, it's Halloween.
Right.
Once Halloween's done, that very next day, Christmas stuff is out.
Yes.
So I think that changed the way we did, or they just had a lot of inventory they wanted to get rid of.
Yes. So I'm seeing more and more people, getting a jump start on that. So again, I think it's a great idea to do that. Chargers you could find year round. A lot of this glassware you could find year round. Napkins. Pretty much all of this is going to be a year round supply, with the exception of your holiday greens and stuff like that. And again, you can always get that sooner than later because it will hold up.
And that's a great point because you can stick these outside till you're ready for them.
Yep, they do just fine.
And all this stuff you can get local.
Yes.
In your backyard. Yep. And if you have questions, Jen will be certainly to help you. So what do we look for in the future of Design by Suite Arrangements? What's kind of planned? I know we talked a little bit about that. We've already set up here. We've talked about Christmas holidays, and we know you do weddings, and you've talked a little bit about what's it look like for the future of Design by Suite Arrangements.
Well, we're hoping future is bright. We're very excited about this next upcoming year and season. We're excited to introduce new lines of products and inventory. Everything from, again, different kinds of table options, chair options, ceiling decorations. So we're really excited. We will be doing a grand opening sometime at the beginning of the new year, and where we'll welcome everybody to come in, take a look at the new location, check out some of the new product and new inventory. So we're very excited. We think it's gonna do well, and we've been getting a lot of really great feedback. So we're very fortunate.
And you're continuing your family's tradition, and we appreciate that. And I know that there's a lot of weddings coming up. I know that talking with a lot of venues over the course of the last 3 months that now they're booking Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and sometimes Mondays for weddings because 2020 and 2021 from the pandemic really. So now the business right now is just, it's maybe not the word booming is the right word.
Right.
Everyone's catching up.
It's true. I mean, never really were we ever getting calls for a year and a half to 2 years out like we are now. So, phone is ringing every day with brides or couples, people calling for 2024, end of 2024. So it's much different than it used to be. Typical weddings, were 8 to 12 months, maybe at the most of planning.
I got married in 2019. My wife didn't realize I was already booking dates before I told her I'm already doing it. She actually had to call the church to say, did my husband? Oh yeah, because we had to. I mean, facilities at that time. If you want the right facility, the right church, the right people, you need to make sure all the dates match.
Absolutely, and you know what? You're always better to secure everything. I always like to tell my clients, secure everything that you want or that you think you want. And then we can go back to the drawing board and then worry about your details. So, just because you book your location doesn't mean that you necessarily have to know your menu and everything, right then and there. Or just because they book me as their designer, it doesn't mean that we have to know exactly what we're going to do, for centerpieces or decor or what have you. But at least you know that you have these people, reserved for your day so that when the time comes, you're not, again, frantically trying to call and reach out and you're finding that, that people are booked. So sooner is always better.
Well, and I think it's a great point because like you said, book the facility. You don't need to worry about those little details.
Right.
You worry about that once everything is in line.
Right, as we get a little closer.
Right.
Yep.
Where can people find you, get a hold of you, find you on social media?
Yeah, so we are now 7152 Market Street. We share kind of parking lot space with Coca's Pizza. We are the large building that sits in the back to the right, to the left, I'm sorry. And then we can still be reached at, we did keep our phone number, so 330-799-6499. Can reach us at, pretty much any day or time, leave a message. We're also on all of your social media platforms. We post a lot of our work that we do on there. So each weekend that we're out and when we're done, with an event, we always post it so that people can get an idea of kind of the new stuff that we're putting out and the new things that we offer.
Jen, we appreciate you taking time and helping us with this quick setup and showing everyone that you can do it. No matter how fashionable or unfashionable you are.
That's right.
We appreciate taking time. We appreciate you doing everything, and this is great. And we hope you guys have learned from what we can do very simply at home. You don't even have to do it for the holidays. You can do it anytime you have people over.
You can.
So, but we appreciate taking time. At the end of each show, I like to have some fun with my guests.
Yes.
With some fun questions.
Yes.
So here we go.
Okay.
What's your best accomplishment?
My kids.
Okay. Yeah. Any answer can be professional or professional.
Okay.
It's your answers, not mine. We talk a little bit about kind of how you've grown through the business with your mom.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great story. You said you were in a playpen, probably 2 years old.
True story.
Sitting watching your mom and uncle, and that's fast because I have a 16-month-old, so
Yeah.
she sees everything that I do. Well,
Yes.
we keep it. We put her in, that's where she goes. She's a pistol, but beautiful child, looks like my wife and acts like me. So if you know me well enough, you know how that works.
Right.
What's your best memory?
Gosh, I mean, as far as like with the story, I mean, there are so many. We were a part of, a lot of different events and people that have reached out to us to do different things, whether fundraisers and that. So honestly, I think the whole thing is like a memory for me. Just getting to be able to be there with my mom. Unfortunately, some people don't get to have that, or there's a distance between themselves, their parents, or some are living here and there and everywhere. So for me, it was really nice just getting to have that. Growing up. So that was probably my favorite part, my favorite memory.
Who's your role model? I think I know the answer to this one.
Yeah, definitely my mom.
Okay.
For sure.
So last question, and I like to say that this is the one that always tricks people. If there was one person you'd want to meet, past or present, who would it be and why?
Oh my goodness.
Everything else is a breeze. This is the one that kind of gets everyone.
Yeah. So, well, one of my favorite people is Bon Jovi. My husband would actually laugh at that because I tell him all the time that if I ever had the opportunity, I would certainly be running away with them.
Living on a prayer.
Yes. Yes. But
It's not going to happen, don't worry.
Right. But I love him. I love his style. And he's also an amazing humanitarian. He gives back a lot. And, you know, a lot of people know that. So he opened up the restaurant in Jersey where there's no prices. You know, you can come in. You don't need to pay for anything. If you want to leave something and you can leave it, then you do. So I find him to be an all-around great human. And he's one of my favorites. So he'd probably be one person that I would love to actually get to have a one-on-one with. It's nice to give back.
It is. We all give back, and some we hope you give back during the holiday spirit. We appreciate everyone taking time with me and Jen from Designed by Sweet Arrangements. Jen, we wish you nothing but the best, and and we'll see you in the new year with the grand opening.
Sure will.
But we appreciate everyone taking time. And if you want to see more shows, stories, or podcasts, especially watching Jen and us here, you can go to spanningtheknee.com. And we wish everyone nothing but happy holidays, and we wish you nothing but the best this season. Good night.